Are we ready to start or anything? Okay.
Could be future. One day we are going to start our class, so please, begin our class. Starting our class by saying Namo Tassa 3 times.
Okay. Let's start our today's Abhidhamma study, reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Namo Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay. Okay, welcome back to Abhidhamma class. Today we are going to study Arūpāvacara Citta. As we are following the sequence of explanation about the consciousness in the Abhidhamma Sangha. There, the consciousness are divided into different types according to the plane of existence. You may remember the plane of existence. So studying the lowest plane of existence are sensual sphere. Do you remember how can we call the sensual sphere in Pali?
Kamavachara.
Very good. Kamavachara. So if we are referring to the sphere or plane of existence, we can add Bhumi. Kamavachara Bhumi. That is plane of existence. Then the higher than the Kamavachara, what is that?
Mahagada.
Mahagada. But for the plane of existence, how can you say?
Rūpāvacara.
Right.
Fine
Exactly.
material sphere.
Of course.
And immaterial sphere.
Yes. So we can say the Rūpāvacara Bhumi and Arūpāvacara Bhumi.
Bhumi.
So Kamavachara Bhumi, how many?
54.
Right. That is Citta. So for the plane of existence, how many Kamavachara Bhumi? Or spheres, sensual sphere, plane of existence.
11.
Right. 11. And for the Rūpāvacara, how many?
20.
Rūpāvacara?
Rūpāvacara. 4 or 4.
4.
No.
Or
16.
Right.
16.
Yeah, we got it. 16. So 11 and 16. How many?
27.
7, right?
27.
And for the Arūpāvacara,
4.
4, right? Altogether, we got
31.
31 plane of existence. Yeah, this is very important information. We cannot forget it, right? So we have to repeat it again and again. So Guy Uchishin remind me not to go faster. So we need to review so that we make sure we understand. And also, if we review it again and again, we can keep the information, proper information in our mind. And if we continue, the information will remain in our mind, our memory. Otherwise, after class finish, all gone. Right? So you will ask me again. So Monday, repeat again. Actually, I have responsibility to ask you back and to make sure you will remember. Not only just understand, just understand, okay, understand is good. But after understanding, if you not practicing to review and forget, for Abhidhamma, if you forget the former lesson, the next lesson become harder and harder. If you remember, the next lesson become easier. This is the way. So we need to review occasionally. Okay, so now we review already the 31 plane of existence. It's not that difficult. So for the consciousness we have studied, let's see how many sense-sphere consciousness.
54.
Right.
54.
54, and yeah, and everyone can answer, so that you encourage yourself. You encourage yourself to be active learner. It's just if you switch off your video and then just doing something around, you cannot focus on what we are discussing, what we are learning. Then, although you are repeating many times, only a few information you can get. Okay, so I would like to encourage you to be active learner and try to follow our conversation. Then with the 54, how many types we can classify? In the 54 sense-sphere consciousness, according to Abhidhamma Lecture.
12 unwholesome, 18,
Yes.
12 unwholesome,
Right.
18 rootless, and 24
Beautiful.
beautiful Citta.
Yeah, sense-sphere beautiful, right?
Sincere, beautiful Citta.
Yes, beautiful and non-beautiful. If we divide it, how many consciousness are not beautiful?
30
30, of course. Akusala, 12,
and
and Ahituka, 18.
18.
Yeah, they have a specific reason to say they are not beautiful. Yeah. So how many Arūpāvacara consciousness?
15.
15.
Right, 15. Then okay, so it's got you already review, and also it's good, that I'm happy to see you all are discussing by yourself, so maybe next time I may come earlier to see how you discuss. And review is necessary, and also discussion is more effective. Now if you after you seeing them by seeing the slide I have given, and then if you mention how you understand, how I have explained, not only my explanation, you can add your understanding also. It will be more beneficial, more effective in discussion. And the giving the lecture is not enough to make you understand. I think, although I try my best to explain, I think it's still not enough. So you need to share your understanding, and you need to listen others' understanding at the same time. Then you can clarify. Later on, you become Abhidhamma teacher, I hope. And many of you will become a Abhidhamma teacher, or within 2 years, you can become a Abhidhamma teacher. Not only you understand Abhidhamma, my expectation is you become a Abhidhamma teacher who teach in English. Okay. So today we are going to study immaterial-sphere consciousness. Immaterial is Arūpa, as we have translated Rupa, materialities. So immaterial is Arūpa. So that Arūpa, come from na. The word Pali word na. Na is negative meaning. So objection. If you want to make objection, and you use the word na, is absent or opposite, like the akusala. And the akusala, so originally kusala, come with the word na change to become akusala. In this case, the opposite of kusala is akusala. But here in the case of arupa, so here also rupa and na and rupa come together, na change to become arupa. Here not the opposite, just the absence of materiality. In the plane of existence, there are 4 planes of existence. In this plane of existence, you cannot find any materiality. Oh, that's why you say by the word na, arupa. This plane of existence are arupa because we cannot find any materialities. Then avachara, as we have said, they mostly arise. So most of the time, these consciousness arise in the plane of existence where we cannot find the materialities, which is called arupa bhumi. That's why these consciousness are called Arūpāvacara consciousness. So these are Arūpāvacara consciousness. Okay, so for the rupa, if someone practice meditation, the samatha meditation, focusing on the specific meditation object, his mind become concentrated. Now, as we have explained, focusing on the preliminary object, which is called the sign nimitta, parikama nimitta. Focusing on that, concentration become stronger. Then preliminary sign to learning sign. Then still, the mental development continue. After the learning sign to counterpart sign. Up to that situation, that practice, the mental state are kamavachara consciousness. Because it is practicing on the right object. So kamavachara kusala, you can say the kamavachara kusala. In the sense sphere beautiful consciousness, 8 consciousness are kamavachara consciousness. There, in the yogi's mind, in the meditator's mind, there's sense sphere consciousness arise. One process after another process come. So in this way, concentration becomes stronger and stronger, focusing on the Paṭipaka nimitta. Then when the jhana factors, we say the jhananga, vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata, come to the certain level and imbalance. The concentration level is promoted to the jhana. Or not, it's not no more in the sense sphere level. It's promoted to the mahagata, which is called the Rūpāvacara. So it's called the jhana. After the attainment of jhana, first jhana, he practiced that first jhana in 5 ways of mastery. In previous lesson, I have already explained that. The 5 ways of mastery. Then become aspire, and concentration also stronger. Then he dropped the vitakka, the jhana feathers, because there is gross feathers or the rough feathers. By the work of the vitakka, it seems a little bit busy. So concentration is interrupted. Not compared to the second jhana. So vitakka drop. No more vitakka. At the time, that concentration is recognized as the second jhana concentration. It has only 4 feathers, starting from vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. After that, by the practicing to develop concentration, again, vichara drop. Then third jhana. It becomes the third jhana. Only 3 factors, piti, sukha, ekagata. Then again become the piti drop. So only sukha and ekagata, the 4th jhana. Then again it's promoted. So sukha changed to upekha, upekha, ekagata. The same, the two factors, but the feeling is different. Sukha to upekha. Upekha is finer than the sukha. So it becomes the 5th jhana. After completion of 5th jhana, and he need to practice to be mastery in the 5th jhana again and again. Then he become a spot in the Arūpāvacara jhana. So if he wish to continue, he need to change the object. He need to choose the way to promote his concentration up to the immaterial-sphere level, immaterial level. So today we're going to study about the immaterial-sphere consciousness. So here, and we already explained the 4 plane of existence or 4 realms. So 4 realms, there's totally transcendent. You know, the maturities are already transcendent, no more maturities. So only consciousness and mental factor remains. So consciousness is also mentalities. Mental factors, because the consciousness and mental factors are arising together. Without mental factor, consciousness cannot arise. So at least 7 must be accompanied. Then without the consciousness, mental factor cannot arise. They arise together. That's why if we say, oh, we can find consciousness, there must be mental factor together arising. So in that realm of existence, the consciousness and mental factors only arise in the process, mental process. We cannot find any matters or materialities. That is called Arupa Bhumi. There are 4 Arupa Bhumi. Okay, so we will explain to remember the name after that. Now we will say about the consciousness. So here the consciousness pertaining to the immaterial plane of existence is called the Arūpāvacara Citta. But as I say, all the consciousness has the same characteristic of knowing the object. The way we can classify the consciousness, sometimes according to their associated mental factor, sometimes their function. So for the function, you know, the eye consciousness or ear consciousness, although they have the same mental factors, accompanying mental factor, we can classify according to their function. Yeah, sometimes we can classify according to the plane of existence where they arise, mostly arise. Here, Arūpāvacara Citta, although when the meditator practice in the sensual sphere plane of existence or time material plane of existence, their Arūpāvacara Citta arise, but mostly arise in the Arūpa realm of existence. So they are named in this way. So here, Arūpāvacara Citta, the name of Arūpāvacara Citta comes from the name of Arupa Bhumi, because they are pertaining to there. They are arising, mostly arising there. That types of consciousness are given in this way, in this name. Okay, so let's continue for the classification. So before we go into classification, basically, as I said, the Ahetuka Citta is quite complicated because that follow the classification according to the function, functions. But the sense pure beautiful consciousness, Rūpāvacara, Arūpāvacara, even the Lokuttara, not complicated, very simple. Cause and effect relationship. Here, wholesome as a cause, resultant as an effect. So cause produce the result, karma and result. So what about the function? Okay, so when that types of consciousness arise in the Puthujana, which is translated as worldling or ordinary person, or trainee seeker who has not yet attained the arhatship on the way of practicing. And it's called the seeker. If that consciousness arises in these two types of individual, Puthujana or seeker, it's called the kusala, because it has the potency to produce the result. When the consciousness arises in the arhat, because arhat does not have the defilements, any more defilements, so already remove defilement. The karma, the action, by the absence of the support of defilements, the action cannot produce the result in the next life or the after that. That is called the functional, just the functional. It just performs the function, not producing the result as a vipaka. So it is regarded as the kiriya. So in this way, wholesome, kusala, resultant, vipaka, and functional. In this way, we can basically classify three types. So three types of Arūpāvacara Citta. One type is kusala, that arise in the process of Puthujana and seeker. Then second type is vipaka, resultant, which is produced by the kusala, and functional, just arise in the arhat mind. Okay, so this is not difficult after classification several times, and we easily remember. Here, I like to emphasize the Arūpāvacara vipaka consciousness. So wholesome and functional. So where we can find the Puthujana and seeker is possible, the wholesome consciousness. And where we can find the arhat, so arhat mind, the arupa kriya will arise. But for the resulting consciousness, we need more information to have the specific understanding here. Arūpāvacara resultant in relation to the function that perform. Let's just perform the Paṭisandhi Bhavanga Tuti. Paṭisandhi is the rebirth at the moment. Recently, he born in any plane of existence, we call that is Paṭisandhi. The last moment is called Tuti. Between that, the same types performing the function of the fetters, just to be a fetters of the life, is called Bhavanga. So you will learn all together 14 functions are mentioned in the Abhidhamma Lecture. Among them, 3 functions can be performed by the Arūpa resultant consciousness, Arūpa vipaka. So that resultant consciousness can perform these 3 functions only in the Arūpa realm of existence, because that is the Paṭisandhi or Bhavanga or duty of the Arūpa Brahma. So this arises only in the Arūpa plane of existence, specific Arūpa plane of existence. Okay, it doesn't matter if you cannot keep all information. It doesn't matter just to say, okay, 3 types. You can remember 3 types: kusala, vipaka, and kriya. Okay, can you guess how many consciousness can be kusala, Arūpa kusala? How many?
4.
4, right? Because you have had a 12 Arūpāvacara Citta. If we divide it into 3 groups, it should be evenly. Each group belongs to 4. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's see. Here in this slide, I mentioned the objects, contemplation, and attainment. To count the name of Arūpāvacana, let's see from the 3rd column. that attainment is called the jhana. As I said, after attainment, having attainment of the Arūpāvacara consciousness and making mastery for the fifth jhana, he continued to attain the Arūpa jhana, the meditator. Then the first jhana is called Akasananjayatana jhana. This is the first Arūpāvacara jhana. And second one, Viññānañjayatana jhana. The third one, Akinchanyayatana jhana. The last one, Nivasanya Nasanyayatana jhana. But for those who just start, it's difficult, even to pronounce, it's not easy. Okay, so let's make easy. How can we make easy to pronounce? Yeah, Akasa. Only you just need to remember Akasa. And second one, Viññāna. And the third one, Akincha. Akincha. So become Akincha. Then the last one, Nivasanya Nasanya. Nivasanya Nasanya. By the meaning, if you understand meaning, it's easier to understand, to remember. Okay, Akasa Nanja Ayatana, how is come? Actually, the Pali word changed. Akasa Ananta Ayatana. So Ayatana is base. Ayatana is base. As we already explained the 12 types of Ayatana, all are base. And okay, so if you keep the translation, Ayatana as a base, okay, what is the base? Here, the object is base. Object is base. What can be the object? Akasa is object. Akasa is space. So here we say that space. Space, Akasa, is object. And that's why, so when the meditator come to practice for the attainment of Arūpa jhana, he need to focus on the space. The object must be space. And how he need to develop in the mental development. Here, Ananto Akasa. By focusing on the space, Akasa, he keeping in mind Ananto Akasa. Ananta means infinite. Infinite. Oh, space, if we can extend, and the power of mind, space is endless. That's why infinite space. By focusing on the space, he developed infinite space. So the space extends. Then, because the mind and object are connected, without the object, the mind cannot arise. The power also come in connection. So when the object is extended to the infinite level, the power of mind also become infinite. And that development is called the attainment of Akasananjayatana jhana. So Akasa and Ananta coming together, Akasananta. And we combine together. Akasa, Ananda, Akasa, Ananda. If we combine with the Viññāna, Ananda, Viññāna, Ananda. Like this. And with the Ayatana, it changed Akasa, Nanja, Ayatana. Because here, this is just a change in the Pali combination. This is the Pali language. That's why at the beginning, we know that Akasa is space. Ananda is infinite. Coming together, Akasa and Ananda, Akasa Ananda. But with the combination Akasa Nanja, then Ayatana Akasa Nanja Yatana, then Viññānañja Yatana, like this. So in this way, the name become easier. Otherwise, it is very difficult and complicated. What is the meaning? I don't know. Okay, so if you cannot follow the meaning, still the name will be difficult. If you think, even to pronounce is very difficult, it's hard to continue. Yeah, so make yourself to be familiar with the Pali pronunciation. You may think, okay, if I know this is Arūpāvacara, no need to memorize. Okay, no problem. But the problem will come into your study process. Oh, very difficult to pronounce. I cannot pronounce. Also, I cannot keep the meaning in my mind and go. That later on you think, okay, akusala part is okay. Lobha, dosa, moha, not that difficult. And the other quite difficult. And you just remember akusala citta, right? Actually, so keeping the akusala in the mind is not really good. Right? So better to learn more about the kusala and the higher consciousness. Then you are inspired. Okay, I know already. So I just need to improve my practice to attain them. So, okay, now you try to pronounce that. Akasa nanjayatana. Then Vinya nanjayatana. Akinchanya yatana. Nivasanya nasanya yatana. Okay, let's talk about this akinchanya because that's why just Vinyana changed, not so difficult. Here akinchanya is also come from akinchana, as I said, akinchana. Akinchana is nothing is remain. Nothing is remain, akinchana. Then nothing it remains. So that's why we were connect with the nothing here, the one nothing. And then with the ayatana, it's become akinchanya yatana. Then because the last one, nivasanya nasanya yatana, nivasanya, niva and na, both case. These two are negative meaning. Niva, na. Niva also the combination of na and iwa. So niva and na both they are the meaning of in the meaning of objection. Okay, so nivasanya and nasanya ayatana, nivasanya nasanya ayatana chana. Okay, so this way you can pronounce full attainment of Arūpāvacara. Okay, let's get back to the practicing process. As I has mentioned that if yogi trying to attain the first Arūpāvacara, which is called Akasananja Yatana Jhana, he must already attain the Rūpāvacara jhana after the fifth jhana. It means he must already expert in all material jhana, Rūpāvacara jhana. Without the attainment of Rūpāvacara jhana, he cannot practice Arūpāvacara. So now you understand how. So if someone just say, okay, I skip the Rūpāvacara jhana and I practice directly to Arūpāvacara, no, it is not the way. So according to the Theravada Buddhist Abhidhamma, and the practice come through in this way. So the yogi who wish to attain the Arūpāvacara, he must be already attain the Rūpāvacara jhana and must be a spot in the fifth jhana, the highest one. Okay, after after being a spot at fifth jhana by 5 mastery, he can continue. So let's talk about how he can continue. Here, as I say, the object must be agasa, space. So what is the space? There's some I have read this. Some are thinking, okay, space is very easy, and just looking at the sky, and we can see the space. Oh, they're also endless, and I can apply this, but actually not that space. That is not that agasa. This agasa is called the Kasinokati Mahakasa in Pali. If you don't remember Razamera, just you can replay our recording. Kasinokati Mahakasa is mean the Kasina and Ogata Agasa. So Kasina has mentioned that there are 10 kinds of Kasina as a meditation sign, meditation device, specifically recognized, at least in the mind. Sometimes that can make purposely, and sometimes if mind is powerful enough, just take in the mind a specific area of the earth specific area of the water. Then it can become meditation object, meditation sign. These are called the kasina. So you can see the previous lesson, there are 10 types of kasina. Okay, so one of the kasina is called akasa kasina. Akasa kasina, focusing on the space, but that cannot be applied in this case. If we skip or if we remove their space kasina from the list, there are 9 kasina remain in the list. If meditator practice any of 9 kasina, focusing on that, on the kasina, and by the development of the conscious, the concentration level, the kasina at the beginning, parikama nimitta, after that, ukaha nimitta, land inside, then become patibhaga nimitta. So if you follow the base of the kasina, these are made by the materialities, even art or water or wind, like this, and white or any color. Those are related to the materialities. So kasina, at the level of the patibhaga nimitta, as we have discussed that, the Paṭipatti nimitta, that become concept, the pure concept. But before that, related to materialities. The concept, we can say the concept that based upon the materialities, because at the beginning, the practice started with the materialities. Okay, so anyhow, the meditator, when he could develop the concentration in the certain level, the kasina become Paṭiphaga nimitta. Then, because his purpose is to attain the Arūpāvacara, he needs to cut off the connection with the materialities. So, focusing on the Paṭiphaga nimitta, the concentration becomes stronger. In the certain level, he's not pay attention on Paṭiphaga nimitta anymore. Instead of Paṭiphaga nimitta, that place become space. Because the Paṭiphaga nimitta take the certain area of his mind, then if he is not paying attention on that, that is mind connect to the space. That is called the space become the object. What kind of space? It's not the ordinary space. It is the removal, the space due to the removal of Paṭiphaga nimitta related to the kasina. Okay, all the way, if you are not understanding this process, okay, what is that? Every space we can practice like this, also can misunderstand. So this is the way how it's mentioned in the practice. So meditator have to start with any of 9 kasina except akasa kasina. This is the beginning. Then the kasina sign come to the level of Paṭiphaga nimitta. At that time, if you're thinking that, oh, how can I overcome? Oh, no, this is not, the applicable with our ordinary things. This comes through the practice. So the practitioner know how to descend, how to go beyond, not paying attention on the Paṭiphaga nimitta after that, and the mind touch to akasa. If everyone easily know, very easy to attain the Arūpāvacara, but not that easy. Not that easy. So, but anyway, this is the process how the concentration level is developed. So not paying attention on the Paṭiphaga nimitta, it reach to the akasa. That is called the Kasino Gati Makasa. That can be the object of Arūpāvacana. So transcending on that stage, touching to the Akasa and the development, keeping in mind infinite space, and the mind become powerful enough to say Akasa Nanjayatana Jhana. This is the first attainment of Arūpāvacana. Okay, so I think if you can repeat and you can make clear, and sometimes maybe need to write down to make sure. Anyway, so let's continue. After the attainment of Arūpāvacana, first jhana, which is, I call it Akasananjayana jhana. And so let's continue for the next step. So what is the object? Let's see. So here, the object is Vijnana. Vijnana, which translated as consciousness. Vijnana is consciousness. So Vijnana consciousness, similar to the Citta here. He just pay attention on the first Arūpāvacana, Akasananjayana Citta. That is called Vijnana. Focusing on the first immaterial-sphere consciousness, he developed his mind, keeping in the mind in this way. Ananta Vijnana. Ananta Vijnana. So the objects must be first Arūpāvacana. Without the attainment of first Arūpāvacana, he cannot continue to second. After the attainment of first Arūpāvacana, okay, already disappear. Then the mental development, keeping in mind, that consciousness has the nature, and keeping in mind and development is that infinite consciousness. Because consciousness itself have the specific period of is arising moment, dissolution moment. After arising, it must be passed away. So there must be arising moment and dissolution moment. But because the object of the consciousness, the first attainment, Arūpa consciousness, is infinite space. The consciousness also regarded, this is connected to the infinite space. We can say this is infinite consciousness. By taking this meaning in the mind, he focused first Arūpa consciousness. Development is infinite consciousness, again and again, repeating. Then the mind concentrated and concentration developed. Then he attained the second Arūpāvacana. Okay, so different, you have to know the object is infinite space. At that time, he attained the first Arūpāvacana. When the first Arūpāvacana become object, then he attained the second Arūpāvacana. That's why it is called the Vijnana-jayatana jhana. Then if he wished to develop for the next step, not paying attention all the the first Arūpāvacana, he just focused on the concept. So what is the concept? After the dissolution moment, so the consciousness, every consciousness after arising, steady phase, and dissolution phase, 3 phases. Every consciousness arise, passed away. Before it passed away, is a little bit, if according to its lifespan, although it is fast, very fast, and we can divide it into 3 phases. Upada, Titi, Panga. It's called the arising moment and dissolution moment. Between these 2 moments, there is called Titi. Anyway, so when it disappears, if he emphasized on the passing away, still connected to the consciousness. But after the consciousness, nothingness. Like this, if you put in put the cup on the table, then if you remove the cup, there's no more cup. Just now I saw the cup, and then after you remove that cup, there's no more cup. But this is nothingness of the cup there. In the same way, after the dissolution moment, when after disappear, keeping that concept or disappearance, no more remaining. That is concept. So sometimes, if you are not following the explanation and just trying to complain or how it would be, or that is you cannot understand. Later you can complain, or you can just say investigate the meaning. But first you need to learn what is the meaning there according to the theoretical explanation. After understanding, okay, you can discuss and you can investigate, you can complain, anyway you can do it. But if you want to know what is the meaning, you need to follow the sequence of explanation first. Okay, so here, focusing on the nothingness, after the first immaterial sphere consciousness disappear, that become concept of nothingness. So focusing on that, the development is come. Nati Kenchi. Oh, the consciousness is considered as the infinite consciousness. But after the dissolution phase, no more remaining. There's nothingness. Focusing on that Nati Kenchi, there's nothing whatsoever. And by developing in this way, the concentration level is promoted again. That's called the third Arūpāvacara attain. That Arūpāvacara focus on the Nati Kenchi. That's why Akinchana. So in connection with the Ayatana, Akinchanya Yatana Jhana, the third one. Okay, after the attainment of third Arūpāvacara, he still continued to practice. Then the object is third immaterial sphere consciousness. Or here you see there, Akinchanya Yatana Citta. So if you see second jhana also focus on the first jhana, the fourth jhana focus on third jhana. And this focusing on the third jhana, or which the object is Nati Kenchi, the concept. Then because the object is focusing on the concept of nothingness, it's come to very smooth level. That's why when he attained the last jhana, even perception, sanya, is difficult to say. Oh, very fine stage of sanya remain. No gross or rough sanya can be found there. Very smooth. That's why very hard to say, oh, there's sanya. Oh, I think no sanya. But without sanya, it is impossible, because sanya always connected to the consciousness. Whenever consciousness arises, sanya arises. So you need to keep this information. Sanya is one of the universal mental factors. One of the universal mental factors. That is why it connected to every type of consciousness. But when consciousness arises, we can say, okay, sanya, there must be sanya. If we say there's no sanya, okay, we understand there's no consciousness at all. Because sanya and consciousness arise together. That is why sanya is regarded one of the universal mental factors. Okay, so for the attainment of Arūpa fourth jhana, the last one, sanya is very fine, very smooth. That's why, okay, so it seems no sanya, niwa sanya. But without sanya, it is impossible. So there must be sanya. Okay, very fine sanya. So the name is given in this way. Niwa sanya, na sanya yatana jhana. Niwa sanya. Gross sanya are not there. But still, na asanya. Na asanya. Asanya is no sanya. No sanya also, it is impossible to arise the consciousness. That's why niwa sanya, na asanya. Na asanya become na sanya. So you can divide it. Niwa sanya, one meaning. Na asanya, another meaning. So na asanya also. Asanya is no sanya. no perception. But no perception consciousness, it is impossible. So, okay, so not asanya. There is sanya, but very smooth sanya. This is how this consciousness is given by Nivasanya Nasanyarana name. Okay, to attain the highest Arūpāvacana, you need to develop that Santa Metta, Panita Metta, focusing on the third Arūpa consciousness. Oh, that is Santa, peaceful. Panita, very nice. So by this development and repeating again and again, keeping in mind, then Nivasanya Nasanyarana jhana is attained. Then in this way, the meditator completed 4 Arūpāvacana. But sometimes, you know, the explanation, you have never seen, you have never experienced, and not enough knowledge is harder than the practice, right? So if you introduce the restaurant, okay, this type of food and this types of taste is quite easy, and then just explaining, oh, how delicious, what kind of taste to the people who has no experience and not related to that area. Okay, anyhow, now according to the explanation, through the learning, we know what are the Arūpāvacana. Because you need to start from the name to pronounce after that, and you need to identify the specific object and how to contemplate on that object. Then attainment comes. Focusing on the infinite space through the kasina practice, and the contemplation is Anando Akasa, then attain the jhana, that is called Agasananjayana jhana. Then second one, focusing on the first Arūpāvacana, development through the contemplation of Anantam Vijnanam, then Vijnananjayana jhana arise. Then focusing on the concept of non-existent or nothingness of the first Arūpāvacana, Citta. Development comes through the contemplation of Nati Kenji. There's nothing whatsoever. If you know that person cannot focus on the nothingness, he cannot develop there's nothing like this. So after the certain level of development and attainment is called Akinjanyayatana jhana. Focusing on the third Arūpāvacara consciousness, contemplating, it is peaceful, it is God, then Nivasanya Nasanyarana jhana attained. These are 4 Arūpāvacana. If we just explain, okay, let's count the enumeration, it is very easy. If we are not connected to the attainment process, it seems easy, but you don't understand. Just the name come and you repeat again and again, but later on you are not interested and then you give up, okay, very complicated, finish. So there is a process of attainment we can attain through the meditation practice, samatha meditation practice. So this gives the learner encouragement or more interest. That's why, although this part is not that easy to understand, all information may be quite complicated, but I still wish to introduce. Okay, so let's see the translation. The first one I said, Agasananjayatana Citta. That is translated, the consciousness pertaining to the base. Here, base is ayatana, to the base of infinite space. Infinite space is Agasa Ananda. Infinite Ananda, space, Agasa. So, Agasa Ananda Ayatana become the pertaining to. There is so Agasananta Yatana Citta. In this way, you can read the translation. So name, translation. So let's read together. Akasa Nanjayarana Citta, the consciousness pertaining to the base of infinite space. Vinyananjayarana Citta, the consciousness pertaining to the base of infinite consciousness. Akinchanya Yadana Citta, the consciousness pertaining to the base of nothingness. Neva Sanya Nasanya Yadana Citta, the consciousness pertaining to the base of neither perception nor non-perception. Okay, the translation here, neither negative, that's why Neva, perception is Sanya, become Neva Sanya. Nor non-perception, so two negative come. So not asanya, so a also have the negative meaning. That's why not asanya, nor non-perception. So become understandable. So now I think you can practice to memorize. Okay, so if we count it wholesome, 4, resultant 4, functional 4, it becomes 12 Arūpāvacara Citta. Just following the classification is not that difficult, quite easy, but not easy to keep in mind because of lack of the interest. Lack of interest. Now, if you know how related to the practice and attainment, and more interest, and you can keep in mind. Okay, let's see how many Arūpāvacara Citta. So let's see the 3 groups. Each group have the 4 consciousness. 4 consciousness we already counted. Agasananjayana, Vinyananjayana, Akinchanyayana, Nivasanyana, Sanyayana. It becomes 12. Become 12. So the same, the sequence. The result the same because it is produced by the wholesome consciousness, kusala, it must be identical with the wholesome kusala. And for the functional, as we have explained, because it arises in the arahats process, does not produce the result for that. And okay, so for the jhana factors, let's see. For the jhana factors, all 4 consciousness, or we can say they're all 12 consciousness, doesn't matter, all. This shows there are only 2 jhana factors, equanimity and one-pointedness. Equanimity is upekha, one-pointedness is what?
Ekaggata.
Ekaggata, right?
Ekaggata.
So what? This is similar to which jhana?
Fifth jhana. Fifth, 5 material jhana.
Okay.
Jhana.
That's why we can see all Arūpa jhana are counted in 5th jhana as 5th jhana because there is no 6th jhana, right? So there's no 6th jhana. We have to put anywhere. Okay, so because of the jhana factors are the same as 5th jhana, we can count all Arūpa jhana 12 into the 5th jhana. So let's consider how many 5th jhana in Rūpāvacara consciousness.
3.
3, right? Kusala, Vipaka, Kriya, each of them has 1. Then 3. Together with the Immaterial-sphere consciousness, how many 5th jhana?
15.
Right. Yeah. So in the Mahakata consciousness, so the Rūpāvacara and Arūpāvacara together collectively called Mahakata 27, right? Among the Mahakata 27, 5th jhana are 15. So let's count. 1st jhana, how many 1st jhana?
3.
3. Yes. 2nd jhana, 3.
3.
3rd jhana, 3.
3.
4th jhana, 3.
3.
So form of 4 jhana, how many consciousness we can get? Form of 4 jhana,
12.
yes. So 12. Then if we count with the 5th jhana 15, so 12 and 15 become 27 again. Okay, so here, if we counted the Rūpāvacara Citta 15, Arūpāvacara Citta 12, or together we call the sublime consciousness. Okay, Mahakata Citta, sublime consciousness, or a jhana citta. Before that, only sense sphere. Sense sphere is not jhana. So after practicing the sadhana, meditation practice, samatha concentration, samatha practice, the attainment of jhana come. Only 27. So this is called jhana. Then absorption consciousness, it can be attained through the meditative attainments. Then here I already explained that all share the two jhana factors, equanimity and one-pointedness. So Panchama jhana, Arūpāvacara 3, Arūpāvacara 12 become 15 fifth jhana, Panchama jhana. Then let's get before that to make sure the understanding about the consciousness Arūpa jhana. Here we are emphasizing Arūpa jhana. So for the Arūpa jhana practice, two types of object is classified. But if you are thinking that, oh, very difficult, so you just keep in mind, I have to get back here. The object to transcend, that is called the transcendent object. Atikamittava is to be transcended. And the object to keep in mind is called direct object, alambitava. Two types of object here. In the Arūpāvacara Citta, it's easy. We already identify, okay, focusing on this object and practice, then attain the Arūpāvacara jhana. So only the alambitava object, direct object we can. But for the Arūpa jhana, the literature mentions types. One is to be transcended, That's called if someone wish to attain the Arūpa jhana, he need to transcend concept of kasina. As long as he keep the concept of kasina in the mind as a Paṭibhaga nimitta, he cannot focus on the space. Then he cannot attain the Arūpa jhana. So the process can only when he transcend the concept of kasina. The space become the object. So when the space becomes the meditation object, and he can develop concentration up to the attainment of Arūpa jhana. That's why the concept of kasina is to be transcended to attain the past Arūpa jhana. So if you understand this process, it's okay, everything done. Although it's mentioned 4 kinds, after transcending or going beyond the kasina concept, then reach to the space to take as a meditation sign, then attain Arūpa jhana. Without the reaching to the space to take the object cannot arise. Okay, so for the attainment of second Arūpa jhana, he need to transcend space. As long as his mind is taking space as it is object, he will remain in the first Arūpa stage only. So to reach to the second Arūpa jhana, he need to transcend the space. So no more space. Then what is that? Consciousness, the first material. So this already mentioned in the formal explanation. So consciousness must be the consciousness. The first Arūpa consciousness must be object. That's why it's direct object. After that, if the meditator wish to attain the third Arūpa jhana, he need to transcend. He need to give up the consciousness of space. First Arūpa jhana here, as it is object. So focusing on the concept of nothingness, attain the third Arūpa jhana. Then finally, to attain the fourth Arūpa jhana, he need to transcend the concept of nothingness and the concept of nothingness, and the third Arūpa jhana become object. So here, this is the difference. The others, so the first one is object must be transcended. Okay, just give the information. If you wish to connect, okay, how it can be attained, so you can come there and replay. Or if you are not much interested on that, just just keep the classification and the name and continue, no problem. no problem. Only when you are interested how Arūpāvacara are attained in the meditation practice, you get back here. Okay, so let's see how to classify the consciousness. So this usually, if we teach Abhidhamma for basics level, we just mostly emphasize on the enumeration or classification. But for the English speaker and the learner from the West, for them very difficult, or without knowing, without understanding, how can we keep this memorizing? Or Myanmar are very strong intention to memorize because it's just inspired by the saddha only. So it's okay for Myanmar or Myanmar learner, it's okay, no problem. They can memorize many things. So for us also, we can memorize. But if we need to understand, if we need to introduce to the Westerner Dhamma friend, we need to explain some meaning at least. Okay, so here let's count. Let's continue to the classification. So in combination of the Arūpāvacara and Arūpāvacara, the consciousness are called sublime consciousness, 27. Mahakata consciousness, 15. Arūpāvacara, Arūpāvacara 12. Okay, so let's see. According to the name or jhana, first jhana 3, we can find only in the 5 material sphere, Arūpāvacara, because Arūpāvacara all are included in 5th jhana. So first jhana 3, second jhana 3, third jhana 3, fourth jhana 3. Then for the 5th jhana, so 3 plus 12 Arūpāvacara become 15 already. So this information we already got, but what I wish to explain in this slide is feeling, accompanying feeling. Former 4th jhana accompanied by Somanasa Vedana, which is called joyful feeling. The last jhana 15 or equanimity. So the mental fetters of the jhana fetter itself is equanimity. Upekha, ekagata. That's why the 15 are equanimity. So in this way, we can identify by way of feeling. By way of feeling for the sublime 27 Mahakata jhana. For Arūpāvacara, how many consciousness are upekha sahagata, accompanied by equanimity? Only in the Arūpāvacara, how many?
3.
Yeah, only 3. 5th jhana 3. So if we talk about the all Mahakata, it becomes 15. Okay, if we consider about the classification by way of feeling up to the Arūpāvacara. So up to the Arūpāvacara, how can we say? Lokiya, right? So Kamavachara, Rūpāvacara, Arūpāvacara, 3 types together, we can say Lokiya. How many Lokiya Citta? Do you remember?
81.
Right, 81. Except Lokotara 8. Among the 89 consciousness, 81 consciousness are Lokiya. Now we already done. We already studied the Lokiya 81. So in this lesson, I think we should review. We should review to count. So here, I will give how to count, and then you can make your homework. Yeah, you can review, and by way of here accompaniment fetter. Now I already explained for sublime consciousness. So how about the sense sphere consciousness? Like this. Now you have to check back and you have to calculate. So if we say, okay, how many Somanasa Sahagata in Lokiya 81? Like this. How many Upekha Sahagata in Lokiya 81? And you don't need to answer just now, and you need to answer. And you need to bring, okay, where, how many, and next week we can identify whether you can count or not. Right? Then also how many jnana sampayutta and jnana vibhuta and ditthigata sampayutta in the agusala ditthigata, and the beautiful or no more ditthi, because ditthi is agusala mental fetter. It can connect only with the agusala, not to the beautiful one. So in this way you can find. So asankarika and sasankarika also. Okay, so also if we talk about the asankarika and sasankarika, another name comes sankhara vimutta, because the consciousness not related to classification of prompted system. These are counted as a sankhara vimutta. Vimutta is, the going beyond that or free from that. So if we are not counting by that, it's called vimutta, sankhara vimutta. Okay, then yeah, it's not that easy. You just need to review and count it, and how many ubhikasagata in ahituka or like this. After the practicing, you become expert in classification according to that, and then the Abhidhamma more interested in that. As most of our learner, the lack of interest in the practice, not very long, only a few rounds you repeat it and then you remember. But if you are not doing at least a few rounds, you cannot remember, although you are repeating many hours of Abhidhamma teaching, Abhidhamma class, still missing. Many information will be missing. Okay, so I suggest you to review and count, trying to be expert. If we ask the question, who can answer, right? Okay, this is how we have to introduce about the immaterial plane or existence, immaterial consciousness, which is called Arūpāvacara consciousness. So better to review and trying to practice before we continue to make our effective learning. Otherwise, if we just go through and forget everything, many hours already spent, no more remaining. Okay, so today's lesson, I am going to stop here, and thank you for your attention. Good. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Maybe could be future need to get the access to unmute.
Oh, sorry, Seattle. I didn't unmute. Forgot that I could. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We will end the live stream here, and we will begin the question and answer session on Zoom. For all those who are watching us, may you be happy, healthy, and peaceful. May you all soon realize the eternal peace of Nirvana. We will now begin the question and answer session here.
Okay.
The first question we have for today is, the 5 jhana factors suppress the 5 mental hindrances, nivarana, but if we were to look for the opposite cetasika of the nivarana, would the following be correct? Kamachanda to alobha, vyapada to adoda, dina metta to kaya lahota and saita lahota. Was I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Odeja.
Oh, odeja, koko, odeja,
Goja.
koko,
Kukucha.
kukucha to thati, visikecha to thada. Instead of suppressing the nivarana, would the opposite cetasikas be able to eliminate the nivarana? If you would like to answer.
Okay. Okay, so just good question. Yeah. And the opposite need to identify about the opposite. So Kama Chanda, as I mentioned in the previous class, what is the essence of Kama Chanda? Do you remember? There's no Kama Chanda Chittasika. So what is the essence of Kama Chanda?
Lobha.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Takai Uchido. Lobha. So lobha, the opposite is alobha, right? And in the Paṭisamhita Mega commentary, it's already identified that the Kamit Chandasa Paṭipakha alobha. That is, Paṭipakha is opposite. So Kama Chanda need to know lobha. That's why alobha is the opposite. Then Vyabhada, what is the essence of Vyabhada? Dosa. So dosa, the opposite is adosa, right? So sometimes we say the adosa like a metta. So if we say the metta, there's no metta cittasika. The metta reference to the adosa. And the tina mitta, so in this case, tina mitta, the opposite of kaya lahuta and citta lahuta. But actually, it's not the kaya lahuta and citta lahuta. The opposite of tina mitta is mentioned that the aloka sanya, aloka nimitti sanya, is the perception on the light. So not kaya lahuta and citta lahuta. The aloka sanya is identified as the opposite of the tina mitta, other than vitaka. So direct. If someone in the sutta, they have mentioned the Buddha, is very popular one. When the Venerable Mahamoggallana, before the attainment of arhatship, when he is meditating, that tina mitta came into his mind, and he was, the sleepy in the practicing. Then the Buddha preached him, give the way how to remove the tina mitta. That is called the Pacalaya Mana Sutta. They have mentioned the different way to remove the tina mitta. There one is aloka sanya. One of the method is aloka sanya. So if we keep in our perception of the light, tina mitta disappear like this. So in the literature, it is emphasized that the opposite of tina mitta is aloka sanya. Then for the uddhacca kukucca, okay. So for the uddhacca kukucca, here the question I mentioned sati. Actually, it is mentioned the samadhi. Samadhi. So one pointedness. When the samadhi becomes stronger, it can, uddhacca, no more distraction, no more restlessness, and also kukucca also come down. So in this way, samadhi is the opposite of the uddhacca kukucca. Is mentioned in the the Paṭisambhida Mega commentary and Vibhanga commentary. So if you later on, if you need any reference, and you can take a note of the books. So Paṭisambhida Mega commentary and Vibhanga commentary mention that. So another one, Vicikicca, the opposite of Vicikicca is mentioned Saddha. Actually, in the commentary is mentioned the Jnana. Jnana means wisdom. So the opposite of Vicikicca is wisdom. Okay, so or let's say instead of suppressing Nivarana, what the opposite Cetasika be able to eliminate their Nivarana? So for this question, yeah, if we say this opposite, when it becomes strong, it will eliminate, actually. This is basically right. But we have to consider about the stages. So in the sense sphere consciousness, when the opposite mental factors are lobha, are dosa, or here, or the aloka sanya, or samadhi, or wisdom, of the opposite, when they arise with the sense sphere consciousness, it can remove only for the short time, temporary. We call the Dadanga Bahana. That cannot be used by the word elimination. So elimination is after eliminating, no more arising again. So for the Bahana, Dadanga Bahana, it is temporary removal, only temporary. And when it arises, when these factors, the opposite quality arise with the jhana, is wiped off to some certain times, not to come back, not to arise back. After that, it's also possible, can arise again, after the potency of jhana disappear, that will arise. So it is like this, if you in the water, if you spill off some water, on the surface of water occupied by the oil are spread there. And if you put there like a soap, the oil are running somewhere from that area, specific area. But later, it come again. So the jhana power can consider, it can wipe off, or it can remove for this certain time period. It can reduce the frequency. And only when these are eliminated by the power of mega, so the positive mental factors arise with the mega consciousness. At that time, they are eliminated. The nivarana can be eliminated. So we can say here suppressing also need to clarify that the jhana factor suppressed. It means that actually before the attainment of jhana, the nivarana are already suppressed for the certain level, Dadanga Bahana, not for the Vikambana Bahana, like a jhana. So that's why to attain the first jhana, the specific removal of nivarana is necessary. Without the removal of nivarana and arising strongly and many times, one cannot attain even first jhana cannot be attained. So that's why, initially, before the attainment of first jhana, also nivarana are wiped out, temporary statement. Then when the jhana come, by the jhana power is go quite far away. Then when the mega arise, already eliminated completely. So we can understand the level of removal, level of the suppression is just suppressed and it arises again. But I don't know exactly the meaning of English term or exactly the same or not. But I think these terms are all used by the scholar or Western scholar, even the Western scholar, they are using that. Okay, so for this question.
Thank you, Siara, for answering the question. The second question we have for today is, sustained application, Visara, suppresses doubt, Vicikkecha, but in the Vicikkecha Citta, the Cetasika of Visara is also present.
Yeah.
Instead, the Cetasikas of Adhimokkha, decision, and Chanda, desire, are not present in Vicikkecha Citta. And how is Visara used to suppress Vicikkecha, but not Adhimokkha and Chanda?
Yes. Okay, so for this question I already learned the second chapter. Yeah, so second chapter it mentioned that how many Paṭivedha or which Paṭivedhas can accompany or can arise together with the certain consciousness. That's why, yeah, he just see the Vicikkecha. When the Vicikkecha consciousness, this is the one of the akusala consciousness, when it arises, it connected to the Paṭivedhas, including vichara. So then here Adhimokkha and Chanda are not included in the Paṭivedhas, but for those who are not understanding, it doesn't matter. Don't worry. Okay, so let's see. How it is here, Vicikkecha, if we observe the nature of Vicikkecha, Vicikkecha is similar to the wisdom, panya, because it's like observing or sustaining the concept, the Paṭivedhas and its object, consciousness as Paṭivedha, to the object. So by the power of Vicikkecha, the object become closer, it seems closer and clear. So that's why it is considered as similar to the panya nature, Western nature, Vicikkecha. So as for the previous question, as I mentioned that Vicikkecha, the opposite of Vicikkecha is wisdom. When the nature of vichara is considered as similar to the wisdom, so this becomes the opposite of the Vicikkecha. Not because of they are not arising together. It's not the same as Adhimokkha after making decision, this is right, no more doubt. This is another aspect. And in this case, what we say is the nature of the meditation object more clear than the work of vichara. For that case, vichara is considered, it has the nature of the wisdom, similar to wisdom. So with wisdom opposite to Vicikkecha. So if the vichara has the nature of wisdom, is the opposite to the Vicikkecha. Okay.
Thank you, Siara, for answering the question. The third question we have for today is, in last week's lesson, Bande mentioned that for 10 subjects of meditation, only access development can be attained. Therefore, with these 10 subjects of meditation, one cannot attain jhana or mega and phala. But isn't mega and phala attained via vipassana meditation, not tamatha? Also, can people attain mega and phala without jhana?
Okay. Okay. So let's start from the last part. So can people attain mega and phala without jhana? Of course, can get. But without samadhi, cannot get. Okay. Without jhana, the people can attain mega or phala. without samadhi cannot attain, right? Because samadhi is one of the factors of Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so now we can differentiate jhana and samadhi. Jhana is certain level of samadhi, you can say easily. Jhana, we emphasize is come to the samadhi because samadhi is essential factor. But not all samadhi reach to the jhana level. Okay, so let's get back the lower part before the attainment of jhana. Close to jhana is called Arūpāvacara samadhi. Right? So, okay, here for the 14 meditation object, especially is emphasized, these are for the samatha meditation. In the last chapter of Abhidhamma Lecture, chapter 9, it's mentioned, and also in Visuddhimagga, we mentioned the 40 types of meditation object. But these are especially for samatha meditation. Because the samatha meditation is to attain the jhana. And among them, 10 just support to the SS development. So SS development is called before the attainment of jhana and mega phala. That is called the SS development. There is mentioned that 10 meditation subjects just support to attain the only SS concentration. What we call the jhana or mega phala as the appana. So when I explain about the appana development, mental development appana, and I not only the jhana, I say the mega and phala also called appana. So if the level of concentration just reach to the SS level, SS development only, not to the appana. So by practicing any of these 10, one cannot get the concentration of appana. Lack of the concentration of appana, by focusing on that, and we cannot continue to the attainment of mega or phala as well. Right? So to attain the mega or phala, he need the factors of samadhi in the appana level. Appana level is after the attainment of SS level. Not only SS is not enough. You know, if you just get to the SS road to the house, you are not yet getting into the house itself. So appana considered as a house area. And the SS development, Arūpāvacara samadhi, is just the SS road. Okay, so here need to have more information about the attainment of mega and phala. Only when the meditator practice vipassana meditation, the meditator can attain the mega and phala. So what is the vipassana meditation? Or if we say about the vipassana meditation in short, you can say practicing nama or rupa. Although for the samatha meditation, there are many types of objects mentioned. But if we reach to the vipassana meditation, only nama kammatthana or rupa kammatthana. If you're practicing or focusing on the reality of mentality, it's called nama kammatthana. Focusing on the materiality is called rupa kammatthana. So it doesn't matter what kind of materialities or how you observe. For example, if you are focusing on anapana is a group of materialities. The breath is group of materialities. Focusing on that is rupa kammatthana. So if you focus on the mind, which know the anapana, the mind is mentality, so nama kammatthana only. The contemplation also become different from the samatha. The contemplation in the vipassana meditation must be anicca, impermanence, or dukkha, suffering, or non-self. Must be any of these characteristics. contemplation. Although your mind connected to the materialities, you should not pay attention. Oh, this is or the breath or something like this. Breath, if we call breath, is the combination or the combination of materiality, still missing with the concept. Only when the meditator is focused, reach to the characteristic of impermanent nature or non-self or suffering, then that is called the vipassana meditation. By practicing vipassana meditation, the object is the characteristic. Okay, so we can say any of mentality or materiality can be the object of vipassana meditation, but the contemplation must be on the characteristic, common characteristic, anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then, in this way, the vipassana jnana, inside knowledge, is developed, then attain the mega and phala. So in this process, the meditation objects are not classified as mentioned in the samatha concentration. So now you see the difference between the concentration practice and vipassana practice. That's why you should not misunderstand, oh, this also without the jhana, if we attain the mega or phala, or we can practice these 10 also to attain, but these 10 cannot support to the attainment of mega and phala directly. But initial practice, as an initial practice, you can practice all of the 14, any of 14, no problem for the initial practice. But if you reach to vipassana practice, there must be the ultimate reality and focusing on the characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then the inside knowledge must be developed step by step. Then finally reach to the anuloma. After the anuloma, reach to the mega and phala. Okay, so if you understand, and that process and this question will be answered. Okay. Yeah.
I believe that's the end of our question and answer session. Siddhartha, would you like to lead us in aspirations and sharing merit, please?
Okay, so let's make inspiration and share our merit to our beings. Repeat after me, please. Imina punya kamena.
Imina punya kamena.
Mami bala samagamo.
Mami bala samagamo.
Adang samagamo hodu. Yawa nibbana badiya. Idami punya. Asawakaya wahan hodu. Idami punya. Nibbana sabajayo hodu. Mama punya bhagam. Sabha sadanam bhajemi. Esabe. Nesamam. Punya bhagam labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Let's decide it. Buddha sasanam jidam dekadu. Buddha Buddha sasanam
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming to the class today. May you all be happy, healthy. May we all soon attain the eternal peace of Nirvana. Thank you.
In our discussion, in our classification.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you everyone for joining us today. May all beings be healthy, happy, and peaceful, and may we soon all realize the eternal peace of Nirvana. Thank you.
Okay.
Wikishin, you want to turn off the live streaming, and the live streaming is still on.
Oh,